All right, the Sunday night game, the final game of the regular season, the Redskins at the Eagles. This line was a pick 'em to open, and now the Redskins are -1.5. So who do you like here?
Yeah, so I'm going to be on Washington here. They had a win-in scenario last week, but they made the mistake of sticking with Dwayne Haskins. Hindsight is always 2020. And you could say like, oh, they should have cut him immediately after, he violated COVID protocol for the second time. And they should have, just gotten rid of him or suspended him and rolled with Taylor Heinicke instead. Or at the very least, should have played Taylor Heinicke coming out of the half because he looked significantly more effective than Haskins. But that's all in the rear view for Washington now. By cutting him, that no longer is an issue. It's about whether or not Alex Smith can play. And if he doesn't, then Taylor Heinicke will come in the game. At this point, I'm not willing to put a ton of confidence in Heinicke, but he looked good enough against the Panthers, and I could see him throwing well against the Eagles secondary. And same goes for Alex Smith. Like, all they have to do is manage the game on offense, not turn the ball over, and just, keep that offense moving for them to be in good shape. But I think that their defense is really what's going to win the game for them. They're going to be able to get after Jalen Hurts. We saw him struggle under pressure more against the Cowboys last week. And the Cardinals the week before, he struggled with sacks. So against a really good defensive front, I could see him being under pressure a lot. I mean, that offensive line for the Eagles is in awful shape right now. And the motivation for them at this point will be, to knock Washington out of the postseason. So I do think that is going to matter, especially for Doug Peterson, who will be looking to build toward next year. But I'm just not convinced that they match up well enough with Washington to get the job done here. So I'm going to go with Washington here. And I think that, if we're getting under 3, I like this because I think this probably will be a field goal game, defensive battle type. So long as Washington's defense shows up. And, they've been playing extremely well in the second half recently. They held the Panthers to no points last week in the second half. So even if they're down early, I think they can make a comeback win.
So I think you'd be right under normal circumstances, but I think that there are a couple things here. Like, one, even if Alex Smith starts, he's going to be pretty limited with his cap. It sounds like it's still like a pretty dire situation, and he's not going to be able to move around in the pocket at all, and that could result in sacks, especially if Fletcher Cox comes back. Like, that'll be huge. I think the Eagles should be able to pressure Alex Smith. So like the injury there, that is a big factor. The other thing is that this is an Aurora Sno Mo game. Like, the Redskins need a win. Eagles have nothing to play for outside of winning and knocking a team out of the playoffs. And like, this is the ultimate win and in situation for the Redskins. And like, I just think that it's going to be a choke situation for them. And I think the Eagles could end up winning this game. Also love the line value we're getting. The Eagles on the advanced spread were -4, and now they're 1.5 point underdogs. It's a 5.5 point shift because they lost to Dallas. And like we were talking about before, if Fletcher Cox doesn't go down, I think they should be able to limit Dallas and potentially win that game, win a close game, and like, things happen. So if Cox comes back, I like the Eagles a lot. If even if he's not available, I think I like the Eagles a little bit.
Okay, that line value is definitely absurd. I did not realize it. I thought the Eagles opened as favorites, but I didn't know it was by that much. So that makes me a little bit more apprehensive to pick Washington, but I think I'm going to stick with the matchups in this one because we've said it even before the opener, back when both teams were fully healthy. Washington matches up very well with Philadelphia, and Washington's the healthier team right now. So I think if Fletcher Cox comes back, I could see that happening. I'm also not convinced Alex Smith is going to make it back to start for this game. So if Taylor Heinicke starts, I'm assuming that this line will move a little bit. And then if Washington's an underdog, I might like them a little bit more. I don't have much on this game right now because I care too much about this for my other Washington-based job. So I have 0 units on it right now. I might go up to 1 if I'm feeling it because it's a night game. But I'm going to stick with them. But there's a lot. You made me nervous. Let me put it like that. Your argument has made me nervous about this, especially with the Aurora Sno Mo effect.
Yeah, I definitely like the Eagles for those reasons. And like, speaking of that Week 1 game, can you like still believe that the Eagles are 5.5 point favorites on the road in Washington? Like, it just goes to show like how mispriced things are right now. Like, If this were a game where the Redskins had a healthy quarterback and they were at home against the Eagles, this line would be like closer to Washington -7, right? So it's a 12.5 point swing. That's all.
Yep. Pretty crazy stuff. The line, that line, we identified that like 3 months before the season as like, oh, we like that. We like that a lot. And they were getting killed, and then they made it all the way back and we covered the money line and everything.
Yeah, I know. I was so tilted when Washington went up or Eagles went up and Washington came back and won. We both had this in the super contest, so that was pretty cool. All right, so teaser. So I was looking at this, and I think I identified what I like for a teaser this week. I think things could change. Like lines are going to move, so I might do something different at the end of the week. But right now, I like the Eagles at +7.5. And I like the Broncos at +8.5. In both situations, we're going up through 3, 6, and 7, which I think is the most important thing to do in a teaser. It's mathematically the best thing you can do. And I think that I don't think the Broncos are going to get blown out again by the Raiders, especially at home. And I can't see an injured Alex Smith or Taylor Heinicke winning by more than a touchdown. Like even if the Redskins win, I think that'll be a close game.
Yeah, I agree with you. Those two would be my top teaser picks this week as well, because I think that the Philadelphia-Washington game, no matter what, will be close. And I like Denver to win that game outright against Vegas. So if we're getting extra points, I'll take that all day, every day. So those are the two I would go with. So I think if you're playing a teaser, definitely go with those.
Here's a question from Andrew. Could the Eagles be deflated after being eliminated? What do you think?
I think it's possible. I think where they have an opportunity to knock out another team and treat this game as their Super Bowl, I think that they'll be more motivated for it. I think if Carson Wentz was still the starter for them, they probably would just come out deflated. But Jalen Hurts is young enough that this team kind of is looking like, oh, if we beat this team right now, we're going to have a bright future. So I think that they won't be deflated for it, but I don't know. Maybe they come out deflated. I think Doug Peterson will have them ready, though.
Yeah, I think there's a small chance that happens. I think you made a good point about Wentz versus Hurts. I think the Eagles will play harder for Hurts at this point. And also, I don't think the Eagles thought they're going to make the playoffs for a while anyway. And like suddenly they had a chance, and yeah, they were eliminated. But I feel like they thought they were eliminated long ago. So I think there's more likely than not that they won't be deflated. But I think there's a very small chance they will be. So I wouldn't go super heavy on this game, but I definitely like the Eagles. Survivor here. If you're lucky enough to still be alive, congratulations. I am not. Both of us are not alive. And so of the teams I have available, I have the Buccaneers still available. So I will go with Tampa to beat Atlanta. They're the best options out of all the teams left. Curiously, on the website where I have Survivor advice, I had the Saints available, but not Tampa. I don't know what happened. So I either of those picks are good. But overall, if you can pick any team, obviously I think you would take the Colts. But there are a lot of good options this week, including Cleveland and also Baltimore.
Yeah, those are the 3 best options, unless you're terrified of the Jaguars versus Colts, which I wouldn't blame you after what happened to us in week 1. But yeah, I mean, I would be apt if I was still alive, which I am very not. I've been out since week 1 and did not have any buyback entries or anything. I would almost be tempted to just go with either Washington or Philadelphia, whichever side you like best, if you have one left in that last game, and just be like, I survived all the way up to the game 256, guys. I made it. So, you could do something like that, but obviously the 3 teams you mentioned are better. But if you're looking for like, oh, I don't have any of them, choosing one side in that game, it'll be a fun Sunday night for you either way. Maybe stressful, but stress is kind of fun when it comes to watching sports.
That is part of it. It's a cool story to tell. Like even if you don't win, you're like, hey, I got to game 256, as you said. So that is definitely a cool idea. Chris asking, does this game being on Sunday Night Football increase the chances of the Aurora Sno Mo effect? I think it does. Being on national TV in the spotlight, I think for sure. I think it could make Washington choke harder.
It's definitely possible, but weirdly enough, I think they're 2-0 in prime time this year. So I don't know if they play better in prime time or if they just happen to be in good situations. I think part of it is I just think Ron Rivera is going to have this team motivated after last week. I just think that the script is there. The script has, like, I see the script of like Washington rising from the ashes like a phoenix, and Ron Rivera recovered from cancer treatment earlier in the year, turning around the franchise. But, you know, that's just my pipe dream. So we'll see if it happens or not.
Yeah, it is. It is a cool story. You know, you want to root for him. He's a good guy, recovering from cancer. So, you know, of all of the three teams that can still make it, I think you would be rooting for Rivera, unless you have a big bet on the Giants to win the division. So,
Yep.
Anyway, that is it for this week. Please hit subscribe, the like button, or comment below. That would be great. Or share this video with someone. That would mean a lot to us. So, Jacob, do you have anything to plug?
Yeah, you can just follow me on Twitter at Jacob Kamenker. I'll tweet out my favorite picks of the week on Sunday, and I'll tweet my pick for the Eagles game against Washington on Sunday night. I forgot to tweet all of my primetime picks this week. That was first time that's happened. So I'll blame the holidays for it, but I'll be better about that come postseason time. And yeah, if you ever have any football questions or just want to chat about stuff, hit me up there, and let's keep talking football. It's going to be a good playoff season with the extra playoff game.
Yeah, I'm excited for the 6 opening run games. It should be a lot of fun. I'm at walterfootball.com. Updated picks throughout the week, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. Those are the big updates, especially the 2 final ones. Updated 2021 NFL mock draft tomorrow morning. We're going to have a round 3 later in the week. And then next week, we're going to have a round 4. I'm actually close to finishing the 2021 fantasy football rankings. So I should have those available probably by the weekend of the first playoff game. So definitely look for that if you want to get a head start on fantasy research. And then Charlie, of course, has tons of NFL draft content to check out. So definitely look into that. Otherwise, everyone have a happy new year, including you, Jacob. And I will talk to you later.
Yeah, happy New Year, guys. Thanks for watching.
All right, bye.